Hey folks, I don't know if you can really see me well, but I'm going to attempt to do a little bit more talking. It's not easy for me to do this. Um, this is totally new to me. So, anyways, um, let's go after my mom died. My ex and I, was my husband at the time, before my mom passed, my dad had been gone 20 years. And I had said to him, once mom goes, I want to move. And he said, yeah, we can do that. Well, I didn't think it would take 17 years for my mom to pass because she was not the healthy one growing up. She was in and out of hospital. She fell down some stairs doing laundry. It was not an easy for her. And when she was born, she was very, very, like, under 2 pounds. So, and this was way back in the 30s, early 30s. So she did not have an easy time. So after my mom passed, I know you're supposed to give it a year before you do anything drastic. So I did. I gave it 1 year. So 2023, I said to my then husband, I said, it's time to move. I want to move. He said, well, I've only got 5 or 6 years to retirement. We can wait. I said, I'm not waiting 5 years. This is done. So after that, I quietly started, you know, looking on Facebook, on playing, you know, just thought if I look for somebody and if I had found somebody, then I could, go that route. Well, 6 months later, so the end of 2023, no, not even, um, maybe a couple months later after mom died, after the year was up, um, I met somebody. I thought I did. He seemed really nice at first. This was all online. All online. Messaging info he gave me seemed correct. A few days later, he says to me, he says, I do Doctors Without Borders. And I have heard of that. I've heard of Doctors Without Borders. And this guy was in Canada. He was in British Columbia. So what would it hurt? Well, for me, you need to know, I grew up very restricted. I couldn't do anything. I had no, I had school and I had church activities. There was no dating. There was no nothing. Um, I couldn't do movies. So let's just say I was very sheltered, including in the ways of the world. I knew nothing. Um, so we were talking, and he did his was doing a way for doing his doctor's with boarded. We communicate every couple days, not long, but we did. And couple days before, he says, I go home in a couple days, but I need some help. I said, okay, what can I do? you know. He seemed nice. He says, I need um, a gift card of $100. Well, yeah, I could do that. Now, I didn't have a lot. I still don't. But I go, okay. I said, what do I do? He says, you go get a gift card, and come home. By that time I sent it via email, right? He says, there's a place on the back, it'll tell you what to do. He says, you take a picture of front and back, send it to me. I go, that's easy. Okay, so I did. Well, me being stupid, I continued doing this, thinking he's just has a case of bad luck. And once he got home, or so he says he got home, he sent pictures. He sent pictures of everything I asked. Well, a year later, we still not had met face to face. He would say, I'm here, I'm coming to get you. Something would happen, he'd want more money. Eventually, a year down the road, I realized he's a scammer. Let's just say it got to a point where I lost access to my phone. I had no phone. I almost, we almost lost our hydro and our cable. So I said to my husband, I did not tell him the truth. He still doesn't know. But I said to him, I've been gambling. I gambled, and this is what has happened. So our youngest was living with us, he's special needs. He's high functioning autistic. And I was getting his rent. So he says, I'm taking over. He got the rent to go directly to him, and he took over those bills. I still couldn't afford to pay off my phone. In the meantime, I stopped talking to John. We'll say that's what he was telling me his name was. And stupidly, I sent him pictures, not good kind either. And he was blackmailing me, and I just refused. In the meantime, I had met online another guy, and he seemed nice. Same thing started happening. So I just quit. I quit. I'm not doing this again. And that came to September of 2024, online on a adult chat. I met Thomas, who I am now with. We were chatting. He seemed totally different. He did not ask for money. He did not ask for pictures. We communicated, we chatted. 3 weeks later, he says, I'm going to come up to see you at the end of the month, which was about 10 days away. He says, but I can't come before the 30th. I now know he had his grandson with him, his 18-year-old grandson who was visiting. And he said, I'm dropping him off on the 30th, and I will continue on and come up and get you. And my words were, yeah, sure you will, because of the past. And I gave it to him hard. I did. And he said, well, I'll tell you what. He said, every time I stop, I will let you know where I am. So he did. And he showed up at our place where I was still staying with my ex at the time. because there was nowhere to go. I was in the bed. I got the bedroom. Our son had the other bedroom. And my ex was on the couch. Now we're still legally married. Expensive to do divorce, but it'll get there. So Thomas came up on October 30th of 2024. I met him and my mouth just dropped. I was in shock. He says to me, I showed up. I said, yes, you did. And he said, I don't want to leave without you. And at that point, I looked and I go, if some guy like that was willing to drop everything and come up and pick me up. Now you got to know we had only chatted. We had not talked on the phone. We had only that day was the first time we saw face to face, but we did text a lot. And he did send me a picture. And he said I didn't need to send him one. Well, I didn't. But when he got there, my ex was not home yet, but he'd be so we sat and chatted, watched Big Brother because that's what I was watching. And when my ex came home, I introduced him. I said, "This is Thomas." I said, I will be leaving with him." And you know that in February of 2024, I had asked my husband, for a divorce. So we officially separated at that point. So, so we, so I grabbed my small suitcase that I had packed and went with Thomas to the hotel. We spent 2 days at the hotel. On the next day, the Halloween day, went back up to the apartment, finished packing my stuff, and said we'd be up at the apartment in the morning by 8 a.m. to pack up the truck with what I was taking. And November 1st, we were up at the house by 7:30. My ex and my son helped Thomas pack the truck with what I was taking, and we left. And 10 hours later, we were here where we're living. Now, was it easy? Definitely not. We live off grid. I've never done that. Our electricity is run by generator in the evenings. Our heat is wood stove. It gets to -40 in the winter here. I lived in a place where there was not a lot of winter and didn't get past -10. But I love it. I love Thomas. We have a dog named Levi. He's a German Shepherd mix. He was a rescue. He was abused, so it's taken some time. Any questions? Put them below. I'll try and answer them. But right now, we're working on needing to go to the closest city, which is 2 hours away, so I can get my passport. Because Thomas wants to show me Europe. He's from Germany. He's German. Well,